Perfect.
Problem is you run a big risk of not making it.
Well, I know, but this always make sure that you can take your hitch off of your truck before you get on the trail.
This video is the second half of a two-part series. So if you missed part 1, be sure to watch that first. A link to it is in the video description.
These sleds that we used yesterday, we actually borrowed from the campground. They let them just take them out to the national park for free, which was kind of a cool perk of being there, because normally you have to pay for these. I think it's like 25 bucks to rent a sled, and we got them for free. So we gotta go return these before we leave. That is all sand from the national park.
In this video, we pick back up the morning after visiting White Sands National Park. It's time to hitch up and head over to our third campsite of the week. This trip is only halfway done, and we have 3 more national parks to see before we're finished.
That sheared right off. Well, I mean, I guess it did the job, right? That's like fused. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that off. Problem for another day, I guess.
For the next leg of our trip, we had a 3-hour and 200-mile drive from White Sands to our next national park, Carlsbad Caverns. We were in a bit of a rush here only because we needed to make sure that we arrived before final entry into the caverns at 2:30 p.m. For once, time zones worked in our favor. Our ETA had us into the park right at 2:30, but a 1-hour time change gave us an extra hour to work with.
Okay, I don't know if this is in focus or not, or if you guys can even see me at all, but it is so dark down here, and I'm whispering because your voice just carries through this entire chamber. Oh yeah, there's like a lunchroom down here where you can like get water and snacks and stuff. But we're going, what, 75 stories down?
Yeah.
Yeah, so to walk down through the natural entrance is 75 stories, and it's all switchbacks.
Yeah, I think he said like 60, maybe.
Yeah, it's all switchbacks the whole time. We could have taken the elevator down, but then you'd miss the super cool natural entrance, and we did not want to do that, so. All right, it is day 4. We are in National Park number 4. We just got to Guadalupe Mountains National Park. Right now we are doing a short little nature trail called Butterfield Staging. It's also called the Pinery, just to get our legs warmed up for the main event of the day, which is McKittrick Trail. So we're only going out to Pratt Cabin. We do have a little bit of a shorter day today. We got a late start, but tomorrow's a big one. We're finally getting over to Big Bend, and we're going to spend a lot more time there. So it's going to be a good day.
We ended up starting this 5-mile hike to Pratt Cabin much later in the day than we wanted to. It was just approaching high noon and 96 degrees as we got on trail. We decided to go for it anyway, knowing that we might have to turn around early. It only took about half a mile on the rocky terrain without shade before we made the decision to call it, instead spending the rest of our day exploring the nearby historic Friol Ranch. The next morning, we woke up early and started our 4-hour drive to Big Bend. After arriving to the campground and setting up the RV for the dogs to hang out in, there was one big thing that we had to see today: Santa Elena Canyon. Santa Elena Canyon Trail is only 1.5 miles, but has some of the best views in the entire park. See for yourself.
So we've come to kind of our main attraction of the trip. This is Old Ore Road. It's about a 26-mile 4x4 trail out here in Big Bend National Park. Before we get on trail though, I'm gonna have to air down because these tires sit at about 60 to 70 PSI, so it's a little bit bumpy out here. I turned four-wheel drive on for like one obstacle, that really big one. But so far, yeah, I mean, there's been a couple of like decent sized rock steps and stuff like that, but the trail's rated a 3, so it should be fairly easy to get with. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd take like a super route out here because there are a couple of spots where you need some decent clearance. And like I said, there was that one spot that four-wheel drive was pretty useful. But like, even having such a long wheelbase, this hasn't really been that big of a problem so far. I will say, we made an absolute mistake in not taking the hitch off, and then bumped the hitch, the weight distribution hitch for the RV, and now the hitch pin is basically stuck on. So. I think if I back up some and start turning right, I think it'll clear.
Problem is you run a big risk of not making it.
Well, I know, but this gets really low right here. So if I can navigate through that.
Okay.
Right here.
Well, worst case, we can just stack up rocks like we already have to try and get ourselves out of this.
Let's try this first.
You're stuck on that rock on the front. Yeah. All right, let's try this for a third time. Real slow, slower than ever. You gotta, hold on. Do you want me to move that? Okay, come on, stop. Come out and assess, you're gonna hit. See, like, we're in a better position. You're totally right. This is a better
I
line.
want to keep going.
Are you sure?
Yes, I want to keep going.
Because look how far down this tire goes.
I think I'm through this.
I'd like to put 2 rocks under that tire.
This tire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this is just kind of a dip right here. And I just think it needs a little bit farther. Which was kind of the problem in the first place. Man. The other tire doesn't dip so much, right?
We don't really need both tires to be higher.
No,
We don't
you're
really
right.
need one.
I'm just more worried about like these rocks here that are not movable. Let's see if we clear it. Yeah. Nope. Okay, you're good though. You cleared it. They moved, but you cleared it. Kind of. Yeah, you did need those though.
Alright, so yeah, we're tough.
But just on those rocks, we're not actually touching the dirt. See, it's moving. Oh man. What a mess.
This hitch wouldn't have been broken.
I know.
What's your problem?
We're not stuck.
I mean, we're close.
We are very close to clearing this.
I think if you just let me go a little bit more, we can clear some more.
Well, can I put a rock maybe under this tire or something?
We can do one more.
Just in case.
Ready?
Yeah. Good. We're out. Go ahead. Okay, we did it. Man, I tell you, that was pretty iffy there for a minute. It doesn't even look that bad, honestly. Surprise.
And that, my friends, is why you always make sure that you can take your hitch off of your truck before you get on the trail. Because
don't bend your hitch pin.
And you might have to stack rocks to get out of a creek bed 2 miles from the end of the trail. Let's get out of here. Best part of off-roading, filling your tires there. It is pretty cool though that this is about 2 miles from where the trail lets off. So where we left the trail, this is like, I think it's 2.5 miles or something. But it's very convenient if you don't yet have onboard air like we don't. That's why I didn't air down to like 19, 18 PSI, which would be a lot better for us on trails because I had to drive a few miles on surface roads and that would just tear up air down tires. It's really, really bad. So, more quarters. So Paige and I just got back to the campground a couple minutes ago. We're getting some charcoal going to make some skewers tonight for dinner. But I just wanted to take a second to talk about all of the hitch stuff that was going on that trail today. Paige and I live in our RV full time. It's right behind me right there. And if you're unfamiliar with the towing or RV world, something very common is called a weight distribution hitch. And it basically just makes it easier to tow a trailer, makes it more comfortable for you, for the truck, makes it safer, all that fun stuff. We have left our hitch on all week because we've pretty much moved the RV every single day except for maybe twice, this being the second or third time. Going into that trail, we knew it was a 3. It was a pretty easy trail. My plan was to pretty much just take the hitch off the truck when I felt like it was starting to get a little bit more. But I got a little overzealous, and I think we hit a bump just a little bit too hard, and then actually shoved the locking pin for the hitch into the frame of my truck where it connects. And that bent the pin bad enough that I was not able to get it out. I could have cut it off, but the problem with cutting it off is that I don't have another hitch pin, and we need to hitch to the truck tomorrow morning. I couldn't cut it off. The hitch had to stay on at that point, or we weren't going to be able to leave tomorrow, or we would have had to drive over an hour into town to find a place with a hitch pin. We decided to leave it on. It was fine for the most part, but we did have to be a little bit cautious about the hitch. That didn't really matter until I think we were 22 or 23 miles out of the 26 into the drive. We came up to a dry riverbed crossing that my departure angle just wasn't quite good enough for. So that's what you saw there. That's what all that fuss was about. Why we were stacking rocks, why it took so long to get through that last riverbed crossing. But at the end of the day, it's a mistake. You know, you learn from stuff like that. It didn't make the experience bad at all. Honestly, the trail was pretty easy going for the most part, outside of a few obstacles that you guys saw. It did take us longer than normal though, because we did have to be a little bit cautious of the hitch, and because I wasn't able to air down to where I wanted to. Paige and I don't have onboard air on the truck yet. That's an upgrade that's coming pretty soon. I think in the next couple of weeks we're gonna do that. So when I aired down, I only aired down to about 35, 40 PSI. If you're unfamiliar with bigger trucks like the F350 is, typically my tires sit around 65 PSI unless we're towing, then I take them up to 75. I definitely can't do that trail in 75 PSI. I would have taken 8 hours. It just wasn't possible. So we just aired down to 40, 35, something like that, knowing that there was air at the gas station at the RV park here. If I would have been able to air down to like 17, 15, in that range, it probably would have been a lot better, but I wasn't gonna drive the 3 or 4 mile from where the trail lets out to the campground to get air back. So we just kept it at 35, 40. It was fine. It just slowed us down a little bit. That combined with the hitch, the trail I think took 5 hours, 4:45, is somewhere in that range. Definitely longer than the 4 hours that Onyx Off-Road reports. But anyways, these coals are getting pretty hot and I'm getting pretty hungry. So we are gonna go ahead, get our skewers put together and get those on the grill.
That's all that fits there anyway.
Yeah, that's really all we have room for.
Yeah, they doused them in barbecue.
All right, these are almost done. So I think we are pretty much going to just eat dinner and then head off to bed. And normally this would be where I play us out to some nice fancy music and then fade to black and the video would end. But this time we have one more fun activity planned before we head out of the park tomorrow afternoon. So I will leave you in suspense for just a couple of seconds and we will see you in the morning. No, just put it pretty close though.
Get your front out and then, yeah.
This is the first time we've paddled in a river in a while. It's been oceans or lakes for a long time. Yeah?
I would say. I was trying to think of the last time we'd been out on a
River?
river, yeah.
It's been a while.
Now that you are kayaking in a single kayak compared to like when we did Ross Lake and Cascades,
Yeah.
do you prefer a single person kayak or double person kayak?
I mean, not to say that we don't have good teamwork, but I feel like a single person kayak is easier.
Not to say we don't have good teamwork, but we don't work well together.
I mean, we do. It's just, it's hard, you know, like regardless of who you are.
Well, yeah, because two minds are running the boat, and so, you know, it's hard to, I want to go this way, you want to paddle that way.
Right. We got a little flow here. Are you going to be able to get back through this?
We're going to find out.
I mean, we could always take out,
Yep.
put back in.
It would definitely be better than a 5-mile hike.
Like, look, like there's a spot to take out right on the other side of this.
Yep, this is very short, rapid, but I'm afraid that that current's gonna push me Yeah, I'm grounded. This isn't it.
You think I should go the other way?
Yep.
All right.
Would have been a lot easier. Just watch out because it's going to suck you into this wall.
The river is really, really shallow right now. That's why we're pretty much the only ones on the river. It's just because right now is not the typical time to come. There we go.
If you made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. We have so many awesome trips coming up that I can't wait to share with you. If you don't want to miss them, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. We'll see you down the trail.